What's up, everyone? All right, so here we are finishing Thursday morning up $2,000. Finally, a nice green day. So this has been really a great start to the month. A little bit of a slow start on Tuesday, $300, $300 yesterday, so 600 plus 2,000 today. That's $2,600. You know, that's good progress. Granted, we're certainly not in a hot market where I'm doing $5,000, $8,000 a day, but green is good. And in the past, what I would have likely have done is push too hard, been too aggressive, and these could have been 3 red days. You know, so green is certainly better than red, and I'm happy with that. We'll break it all down in today's midday recap, and if you have any questions, as always, put them below, and I'll come back through and answer them later this afternoon. All right, I'll see you guys in the morning. All right, everyone, so we're going to do our midday market recap, go over the trades from this morning, and today I'm finishing up $2,167.73, which is awesome. So hitting the daily goal, and what's even more exciting is that I'm crossing over the 70% mark in this $1 million challenge. So I've crossed over this level once before and then dipped back under it. But, you know, still going to celebrate crossing it because it feels good. So I'm at $700,000 in profits in my small account that I started with $583 on January 1st, 2017. So 70% of the way to the $1 million mark. This is no doubt a marathon. It's taken 19 months or so, or 20 months to get here, and it's still probably going to take me another, well, you know, we'll see, probably 4 to 6 months to make another $300,000 and get across that level. But, you know, one of the things, like anything else, is that day trading is a marathon. You know, this is like a very specific type of challenge that I'm doing. But, you know, even if I wasn't doing this, it's always kind of a marathon because, you know, you want to keep your head in the game. You got to keep your head above water, you know, survive till you thrive, all of that type of stuff. And there are going to be weeks that are really tough, and we're going to have downs, and we're going to be frustrated, and then you're going to have ups, and you're going to have amazing weeks. And, you know, that's kind of part of the life of this job, all those ups and downs. You can even them out depending on your share size and your risk tolerance and things like that. Some of us that are really aggressive will have, you know, $50,000 green days, maybe $100,000 green days, and $50,000 red days, $100,000 red days. I mean, there are traders that go to the extreme with share size, trading with 40, 50,000 shares, and you know, no doubt they're going to be experiencing the emotional extremes as well. I'm kind of a little bit more moderate compared to some of those traders, I suppose. But, you know, today's a day where I'm finishing up $2,000, and it's right now, I would say, you know, it's still a day to be pretty happy about. It's a green day. So I'm going to write it down here. It's the 165th trading day of the year for me, plus $2,167.73. So that's good. Now, of course, a month ago, you know, I had the first week of August, or second week of August, I was doing $3,000, $2,000 every single day. I mean, it was back to back to back. So, you know, having made only 300 on Tuesday and 300 on Wednesday, that I'm kind of behind my goal. But the thing that you have to remember is not to get too hyper-focused on these short-term goals like your daily profit target or your weekly profit target, because the reality is you're going to have weeks where the very best you can do is break even. The very best you can do is keep your head above water and not go into the red. And then you're going to have weeks where the best you can do is going to be like $75,000 or $100,000 when you're at, you know, kind of the level that I'm at. So, you know, am I a little bit behind this week? Sure, but I can't force it. I got to trade the market I'm in, not the market I want to be in. So only 2 stocks I traded today, which is good. Commissions will be a little bit lower. First one was BOXL, and that was kind of a surprise. I didn't think that it was really going to be worth trading. I'll show you our gap scanner here today. every day starts the same, going over the stocks that are gapping up pre-market. These are the ones that are most likely to make big moves once the bell rings. ARWR was our leading gapper, up 30%. And again, just because the stock's up 30% doesn't mean it can't continue to squeeze. Right now, it's up 56%. So the bell rang and it squeezed up another 20%. For me, though, this is really, it's outside my price range. This doesn't work well for me with a scalping strategy of getting in, taking quick profits. It doesn't work really well with breakouts. It's more of a trend-based type of strategy. And I don't really have the patience to trade these, and I just don't usually do well on them. So, I saw some of you guys traded it, and that's awesome. So I'm happy to see that some of you guys got a piece of it. And, you can apply the lessons that you learn about trading bull flags, moving average pullbacks, and things like that to this. But, for me, it's just not really my wheelhouse. So anyways, no trades on that one, despite it being clearly a good mover. Second one was ABAC. This was on the gap scanner. This one I traded. I'll go over this one second. Pre-market had a high of 240, and I really wasn't sure it was going to do anything. Didn't have a lot of volume. I was like, I don't know. Next one down, NBEV, New Age Beverage. This, we were kind of watching out of the gates for a possible red to green move, and that just never really happened. It just kept kind of going red. It did a short 1 minute bounce here, but that was it. So no trades on that. INFI, volume's too light. MYSZ, a little too cheap for me. Float's too high on this one. Not enough volume. Price is too high. Float's too high. This one, NAKD, we were interested in, but we saw the headline was a merger agreement, and those don't always give good breakouts. So nothing on NAKD. Too expensive. Volume's too light. Volume's too light. Float's too high. Price is too high. Price is too low, below $1. Price is too high. BOSC we were watching as a maybe, but it ended up, it was gapping pre-market and then it opened flat. So it didn't end up being actually a gapper. So nothing there. BOSC, so no trades. 50 cents too cheap, 14 too expensive, 46 too expensive. And so, we keep going down the scans, and eventually at the bottom of the scan, we did have BOXL. Where is it? Maybe I got to run this scan again at like 9:28 or something. It was on the scan just before the bell. Let's see if this pops up. There it is. All right, so BOXL there, and I pulled it up. Someone said, "Hey, take a look at BOXL," and I was like, I don't know. I'm not that into it. The daily chart's not great. I don't think it's gonna do much. But then the bell rings, and suddenly it spikes right up to $4. And so on this one, I was like, you know what? It's showing me that it's got strength. It just squeezed up, whatever that is, 30 cents. So I jumped right in it at $4 for a scalp over 4. That's that go-to setup, a break of the half dollar or whole dollar. So I'm in at $3.99 and $4.01, and I try to flip out and sell a quarter at $4.03, take a little profit. I get partial fills, and then it drops down. And then I was like, uh-oh, this doesn't look great. So at that point, I was still holding like 2,700 shares or something like that, and it dips down here all the way to 370, and I'm down like 30 cents. And I was down about 800 bucks. And, it's kind of like, well, that's disappointing. And that's exactly what I said yesterday, that the problem right now is that since all of these trades I'm risking usually 500 to 1,000 bucks, that when I made 300 yesterday and 300 the day before, yeah, that's great, but one loser could have wiped out all those profits. And I did have some small losses, but one trade that does this could wipe out, those 2 days. And so it drops down here, and I'm like, well, let me give it a second for the first 1 minute candle to make a new high. That's my kind of go-to on these. So I watch and I give it a second. First 1 minute candle makes a new high right here, and it pops up to a high of 415. So I go down 900, and then it pops up, and I get out the rest of it right here, and I made $135. Now for me, that is acceptable risk management knowing that the first 1 minute pullback usually does get bought up, and it usually does create that type of move. Now, of course, on this one, it was on the high day momentum scanner. That's how I ended up seeing it popping up. So because it was on this scanner, tons of other traders are using these same types of scans. So that's what made me think, okay, people that didn't buy the first spike would likely buy the first pullback, because this is a stock that's a former runner, history making big news, and there's a headline today. So that's what sort of gave me the confidence. If this didn't have news, if this wasn't on the scanner, I might have felt like I shouldn't even try it. I should just let it, I should just stop out as it's going down. And certainly if it had gone red on the day down here, I would have had to bail. I was about to bail, and I did sell, I sold some at 385. I tried to sell on the ask, kind of a drop down, it popped up. I tried to sell on the ask. I filled 200 shares, and then I couldn't fill any more, so I canceled it. I put an order to sell at 97, didn't get filled. And then I threw out the order at 404, and boom, I got filled as it squeezed up right here on this candle. So I was like, you know what, that's good. And even then I was like, I'm selling here at 404 and it goes up to 415. Maybe I could have held, but here's the thing. If you're in a trade and, you end up being down 30 cents, if you can get out break even, that's a blessing. Take the break even trade. It's no longer worth trying to focus on this being a big winner, because the fact that it was down 30 cents is pretty much already made it so the likelihood that it'll be a big winner is very low. Doesn't mean it couldn't potentially happen, but it's really pretty low. So for that, I was just like, yeah, I'm not into it. So Chris, the broker that I'm using is Lightspeed. They accept international traders. Pretty much they accept anyone except Canadians and people that are in those whatever OFAC sanction countries. But yeah, so I use Lightspeed. I've been trading there for a long time. Really happy with the speed of the orders. I mean, they are so fast. It is awesome. And hey, Jared, welcome. So yeah, so anyways, BOXL, and of course it does a false breakout, not surprising, but I was just kind of happy to be out of that without a big loss. So that was a close call. All right, so after that, I was like, you know what, $135, maybe I should just call it a day. I mean, I don't know, like I'm not feeling it. NBEV had dropped, that one wasn't clean, the scanners weren't that great. And then I see ABAC. I see ABAC, it pops up and hits the scanners, and I look at it and I'm like, okay, well, this was on our watch list pre-market. So I already had the level 2 up, and I already had an order ready at 250 because the pre-market high was 240 or 238, which is right around the $0.50. I was mindful of the 200 moving average at 38, but at that point we were breaking over it. So I was like, this thing really does look, it looks good. So on this ABAC, I've got the level 2 up, I've got my order at 50, and I press the buy button right there. I'm like, yep, I'm jumping in. I get filled at 45. It squeezes up to 50 and 60, and that's when I was like, okay, now I'm adjusting my expectations. At first, I thought, and I didn't jump in this right away with like 10,000 shares. I took my first 3,000 share position because, I was like, well, it looks interesting, but I just had a really close call. I don't want to have a second one. So let's just, kind of ease into this and see if it's going to work. So I take my starter and it pops up like 30 cents. And so now I'm like, okay, option 1 is sell half and take the $600 profit. Option 2 is this stock is lighting up the scanner. I mean, it's hitting once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. It's up 68% today. The relative volume in the last 5 minutes is crazy high. Relative volume today is crazy high. This thing is taking off. This is what traders look for. We look for this because this volatility is an opportunity. So as I saw it, squeezing up at this point, I was like, you know what? If it moved 30 cents that quickly, this thing has a chance of hitting $3. And if it hits 3 and it breaks 3, we've got a chance of hitting a circuit breaker halt, number 1. And number 2, there's a chance that it could, get up to 350 or maybe even more. So that's where I started to really think this had a lot of potential. So Jason, or Sharon and Josh, the way I was able to trade with the $583, I opened an account in the Bahamas. Now, there's a couple different brokers that are in the Bahamas that our students use. I no longer need to use them because now my account is above the minimums to day trade in the US. But I started with a $500, $500 was the minimum, so I put in $583. So 583 bucks, $83 above the cushion, charged it to my credit card, boom, and started trading. So on that one, on the broker that I had, there were not, at the time, a lot of restrictions. I was able to just pretty much start trading. I could day trade almost, whatever I wanted. And I had 6 times leverage, which was awesome. So with 500 in, 5 times 6 is 3,000. So I had about $3,000 of buying power on my first day. So on my first day, I bought 1,000 shares of a $3 stock. And when I made 15 cents, that was 150 bucks of profit. I sold the whole thing. So then on day 2, I had like $700 in the account. 7 times 6, now I've got $4,000 in buying power. So I saw another $3 stock pop up on the scans. I jumped into it this time with like 1,200 shares or 1,500 shares, whatever it was. It goes up 10 cents and I make 150 bucks and I sell it. Day 3, I've got $850, 8 times 5. The buying power is increasing. I take another 1,500 shares and I jump in, get my 15 cents profit, I make $180. So by the end of that first week, my account was already up over $1,000. And I had $6,000 now of buying power. Going into week 2, I kept trading, making about, I think not even 500, maybe $120 a day. And then as my account grew, I was able to take bigger positions and things really took off. So I could show you my reports just real quick. So I go to reports view. I'll go to, I'll just look at the first month of January last year. Oops, 2017. 17. All right. So we'll filter this. So these are my profits for the first couple weeks. It was $125, 187, 150, 154, 153, 258, nice, 283. So here the buying power was a little bit higher. I could take bigger size, and then boom, 1,700 bucks. A trade kind of like today, it just took off. Next day, 800 bucks. Now I've got more buying power. I can take bigger positions. Next day, 2,300 bucks. A couple of smaller days. $1,000 here, 400, 300 there, 800 there, 400 there, 1,900 there, 2,000 there, and then the big day, 7,500. The next day, I got too aggressive and I gave back 5,000. So it was like going up and then down. If we carry this through to the end of let's see, just 3/5/2017. I bounced back from that red day. That was the red day. 2 days later, I made $15,000. And in 45 days or so, I was up over 100 grand. Let's see, I think I went over 100 grand on the 8th, I think it was. It was my dog's birthday. Yeah, it was right around there, maybe the 9th. So anyways, so today on ABAC, as soon as I saw it taking off like this, I was like, okay, I'm going to get a little more aggressive. So I take my starter at 245, I add at 273, and I get a partial fill. I try to add another 3,000 shares, but I only fill 1,300. It was taking off that fast. It then goes higher. I add at 291. I'm like, this thing is just, taking off. I put out the order. I meant to sell half, and I typoed the whole position. But I tried to take some profit at 306. I had 7,300 shares at an average of 268. All right, so my cost basis is right here because I've been adding as it goes up, and I start selling up here. High a day is 320. I'm selling, a little bit at 96, 98, 301, 305, 319. 1 cent off high a day. the rest at 99 and 61. So this last position, as it came back down, I finally stopped out. But just like that, $2,000 on that trade, and finishing with $2,167 in 9 minutes of trading. I was done by 9:39 and 42 seconds. So it's sort of a short morning. I would have been happy to look for, I mean, I kept looking for other trades. I just didn't see anything else that looked good. Nothing else was really moving. So I was like, you know, I'm just gonna sit tight, and that ended up being the right move. I kind of was watching ABAC maybe for, you know, a continuation back up through the highs, the longer it was consolidating, but it just kind of started drifting lower. So, you know, a little bit bummed out. And Paul, for the most part, for me, I only trade for an hour, maybe 90 minutes at most. So from 9:30 to 10:30, 11, and then, you know, at that point, I kind of ease up. And I'll absolutely be more aggressive in a strong market. In a strong market, I would have tried to take 15 or 20,000 shares. And in a strong market, not only would I have done that, but all the other traders like me would have done that. And that means a lot more buying. And that means the breakout is even bigger. And this could have gone to $350, $4, who knows? And boom, that could have been a $15,000, $20,000 day. The best day I've had in the last year was a $40,000 day. So I'll have days like that, but it's not dependent on like me and my willingness to take size. It's 100% dependent on the strength of the market and the opportunities that are in front of me. If I don't see opportunities in front of me to take that type of risk, then, you know, it's not going to happen. So that's pretty much where it's at for me. So yeah, Sure Traders, where I did the small account. CMEG group, or CME group, is the one that more of our students are using now. You can Google them, but yeah, let's see. The thing is, there's another CME group that is not, there's the actual CME group, and that's kind of like confusing, but CMEG trading, it's Capital Markets Elite Group. That's who a lot of our students are using right now. So yeah, but and if I do another small account challenge, I'd probably do it here, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do that, just because, you know, right? Well, first of all, I need to cross the $1 million mark. That's the first step. I'm 70% of the way there, and so I've got to, you know, keep focused on that. Once I cross that level, you know, I think at that point I'm going to be trading more in my IRA, probably towards the end of the challenge. I have my IRA account here. I didn't trade in it in July. I didn't trade in it in August, kind of waiting for really good opportunities that I had really strong conviction in. And so once I start trading in it more and I get above the PDT level, I've only got 21,000, then I can start really day trading and being more aggressive. Keith, I actually deposited $700 in December, and then they took out platform fees because I wasn't using the platform in December. And so on January 1st, only $583 were left in the account. So they took out fees. So that's why I started with $583. I tried $700 to give myself a little cushion, but they decided to make it a little more challenging for me. But it was no problem. So anyways, that's it for me today. Green Day, happy about that. That's 3 green days for the month of September. And, you know, Friday, tomorrow, I'd like to kind of take it a little bit easy. This weekend, I'm going to be flying down to Orlando for our Inner Circle conference that's next week that we're hosting at Walt Disney World. So I'll be trading from Florida all next week. And, you know, I'll be on my traveling trading setup, which is no big deal. I mean, I'm used to doing that, but I'll probably bring down the risk a little bit because I'll be kind of, you know, not wanting to take a massive loss and then, you know, be in front of everyone. So anyways, that's it for me, and I will see you guys all back here first thing tomorrow morning, 9:15 for pre-market analysis. All right, I'll see you guys in the morning.
Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. Well, I was just working on the dream board for my next home run trade. Hopefully it comes soon. Until then, make sure you subscribe to get email alerts anytime I go live or upload new videos. Until then, happy surfing